So, Jack, would you tell us what you thought of the film?
Ask Poppy what he thought of the film.
What did you think about the film?
Great.
It was great, he said.
It was great. So, Elliot, you had an opportunity to sit with your great-grandfather and ask him a whole host of questions. How long did it take you to do that?
Well, it took about a month to record the whole thing, and then to put it together took 3 years.
3 years. How old are you today?
I am 12 now.
And Jack, how often do you tell your story?
How often do you tell?
I don't know.
Do you tell it?
Yeah.
So Jack is a Holocaust survivor, and
How often? I tell the story very often. Anybody who I see, they want to know, I tell the story.
when was the first time you told the story?
The first time, I don't know, and Stacy and my son, my grandchildren later.
Sammy, you grew up. Did you know about the experiences that your father had?
When I was growing up, the Holocaust survivors would not usually speak about their experiences. And the only reason I could think why is that they just came out of that horrific experience. They didn't want to dwell on it and scare their children about their experiences. So their attitude, or my father's attitude, was more of let's look forward, let's get a better life, and I'm not going to bother talking about what I went through. But what I can tell you is even though he didn't speak about it, you knew there was something horrific that he went through, that my mother went through, because in the middle of the night you would hear screaming. All right, they had horrendous dreams, nightmares of their experiences. So put that together and you know why they really didn't want to speak about their experiences. And, you know, the only time when I was growing up that you would know the experience or what they went through is in our little town of Rochester, there was a cluster of survivors. And they had a group of 8 to 10 people who would meet every Monday. The men would play cards, the wife would cook. That's how it was back then, all right? And they would only speak Yiddish. I understood Yiddish, I don't speak it, but the men, the wives, they would start talking about their experiences. And that's when I first learned of what they went through. But they would not come to me on an individual basis and say, Sam, here's my story. All right, it was only when Stacy came into the world that she started, you know, exploring and be inquisitive. So.
For those of you who are joining us online, you're here at the Museum of Jewish Heritage, which is the 3rd largest Holocaust museum in the world. Tonight's conversation is the first time that we are hosting 4 generations on this stage to participate in Holocaust remembrance and education. Elliot, tell us why you're interested in this.
I think I get it from my mom because I still have recordings of when I was 1. She was talking to my great-grandfather, and even before that. So it kind of grew on me since I'd seen it. I'd been around it for a long time. So, yeah.
Let's hear from Jared. Jared, what did you think of the film?
It was good.
How old are you?
I'm 10.
Is this the first time you saw it?
No. I've seen it plenty of times.
Plenty of times. And hopefully everyone out there will see it plenty of times as well.
Yeah.
So Stacy, what do you think, what's important about the fourth generation really getting an introduction into the subject matter?
Well, it's really important because this is the last generation, sadly, that will have a survivor that they could potentially meet. And so it's something that's a cause that's very important to me, to pass down these stories so that nobody will ever forget and so that this will never be repeated again. And I feel so lucky that my boys have had this experience with my grandfather, not only for our family, but because the movie was so well done. I think that this could be something that, you know, everyone across the United States, across the world could learn from. And it's done in such a beautiful, gentle way. I think it's really important.
Sammy, do you want to add to that?
I would add that, you know, Stacy has a way about getting information out of my father. And it's good. And it's good for the new generation, the fourth generation, generations from, you know, going forward to know about this. Because like the film indicated, there's not too many survivors left. And it's something that has to be remembered. You know, it's not only for the Jews, but for other, you know, cultures and nationalities that have gone through, are going through this or have gone through this.
So please. As I mentioned, The Number on Great Grandpa's Arm will premiere on all HBO channels starting on Saturday, January 27th, International Holocaust Remembrance Day. Elliot, tell us what your favorite part was of having the opportunity to interview your great-grandfather.
Well, over the summer and in all times, I'm not always able to be around him because, you know, it's hard for him to travel at the age of 92. And so I really enjoyed being able to spend time with him and also get a little more out of him about his story because I squeezed a little more out of him.
Jared, did you have a favorite part?
Probably at the fish market.
At the fish market. I think that was a sweet part of the movie where we had an opportunity to see the important role that your great-grandfather has in that community. So thank you. Jack, can you tell us why you wanted to do this project? What was important about doing it? That's
Well, I want people to see what's going on. A lot of people don't know. Where I live, I ask the people if they hear about the Holocaust. They say, well, sometime, but they wasn't interested.
Well, I think it's certainly apparent for those of us who had the chance to see this film that there will be a new generation of people who take an interest in learning about you and your story and the experience that your great-grandchildren had interacting with you. Stacy, what would you add? You've been involved in this museum and Holocaust education around the country for quite a while. What would you add to this?
Well, I just think it's so important for us to keep sharing these stories and teaching the younger generations, and every opportunity that we have, it's very important because we want to teach people not to hate and to see what happens if there is hate in this world. And so it's very important, and I'm so happy that we're able to use this as a vehicle to do that.
So Elliot, thank you. I imagine after this makes its way into an international audience, you become a little bit of a celebrity. What do you think about that?
Well, it is pretty fun. But also walking upstairs and walking through everyone earlier in the first premiere, I couldn't help noticing the fact that I got stopped almost every 5 seconds.
So this is going to be good. What we're going to do is we're now going to train the fourth generation to be able to understand the experiences of their great-grandparents and to go out into schools and communities and be able to help others understand the experiences that their great-grandparents had. Do you want to offer a final thought, Elliot, on this experience?
Well, like I said in the movie, it is really important that all generations, future generations, and the fourth generation, and even third and second generations know about it, because this is a major thing that will help prevent it from ever happening again.
Sammy, a final thought from you?
Well, I think like one of the purposes of the film is to educate the young children. And I hope, with everyone's efforts that this will hopefully go into the mainstream schools, libraries for a teaching purpose.
Jared, what do you hope that your friends learn after they have a chance to see this film?
That you should never be mean to people because what you think they did, but they really didn't do it, and you shouldn't treat them that way.
That's great. Final thoughts, Stacy?
Well, I just want to thank everyone for coming, and I hope you encourage people to watch the movie because I think it really can teach a lot of people. So thank you so much.
Thank you. So, for those of you participating online, again, The Number on Great Grandpa's Arm, a film produced by HBO, will premiere on January 27th on International Holocaust Remembrance Day. It is our pleasure to have Holocaust survivor Jack Feldman on our stage. So let's give Jack a round of applause. On behalf of the Museum of Jewish Heritage, a living memorial to the Holocaust here in New York, we want to thank the Feldman family and the Science family for participating with us, and we encourage all of you to watch the film and to visit this museum and to see the special installation that we have, also of the same title, The Number on Great Grandpa's Arm, where we feature the animation of Jeff Shear and all of the wonderful watercolors and digital prints that made their way through the film. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for being here.